You can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. Can't break even, can't get out of the game. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, Jermaine in the house. Here with me, punching the clock. I think I have a good one for you today, even though I did double duty yesterday. Sometimes it happened like that. And started to say, yeah, you know what, I'll take one off. But, I got a backlog of stuff, so I'm going to try to get rid of my backlog. I hate election time. I've been getting candidates with the robocalls, man, for the last 2 weeks. Anyhow, Adric, what's going on, sir? He's number one, so should be a good show if he's number one. Brother Truth Be Told, Dave Tao, Samuel Isaacs. I don't know. He slept on because you guys don't support him. Afro Troop TV, what's up? Titan Blooded, I'm listening. Hey, what's going on, little Maple Leaf? Lavaris, what's going on? Marshawn, what's going on? Prince, what's happening? Baby Smooth, what's happening? Kelvin, what's happening? Just kicking up the dust. Heard that. Toya with the forbidden apple. Dre Day, what's happening? Kelvin, what's happening? Lavares, yeah, 95, yeah, yeah. Inspired Truth, what's going on? Ice Princess, change my middle. Okay, okay. Change your MIDI or middle. Okay. Ice Princess, what's going on? I tripped and fell in the dust on my way in. C dot. The 2024 dust is good, right? Sam C, what's happening? Chef Mike, I hate you, Chef, but I love you. Lavaris, what's happening? Throws dust in the air like LeBron throws chalk. I can't take y'all nowhere. Gundam, what's happening? Michael, what's going on? Shannon Green, what's happening? Ass Split Jim, what's going on? Joe's, what's up? Barry Little, one of my day ones, what's happening? Zavi, what's good? I'll change your middle name to J for man. Baby Smooth, Casual Geographics, YouTube breaks done. Wow, make sure I go. The patterns are very similar, very similar. J Mar, what's going on? And it's SMWH. Okay, I don't know what that is. Dusty Scholar of the Week. Black Males, what's happening? Pragmatic Thinker, my kind of dude. Black in the middle, Jermaine, his harmony, Rice Malicious. Yeah, it's all his fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. Marcus B2B. Is it B2B B28? Okay. Uh, Dusty menu for my Dusty's pull. Oh, you ain't. Oh, I hate you. I hate you. Pulled pork stew, black beans and rice, collard for din din. All right. Ilyas, what's going on? Esoteric mindset, what's happening? Top notch rocker. Oh, I'm doing great, man. Appreciate you for asking. OX, what's happening? I'm in the mood for some Bitcoin technical analysis. I haven't looked at Bitcoin for a minute, man, but Bitcoin's been going off the chain since October 7th, and it has something to do with the pullback from the dollar, according to the BRICS. So I have to look at it. I have to look at it over the weekend. When you get out of the flow, man, it gets you have to play catch up. Hubert, Grab Betty, what's going on? Supreme, what's happening? Coach DC, what's going on? And the last one is Typhoon the Ripper. So just if you had to incentivize marriage and family building in America, how would you do it? If you really want to incentivize marriage, basically you're gonna have to get rid of no fault divorce. Okay, you're gonna have to give black men the same guarantee you give women. Um, if you really want to make sure that marriages stay together, you're gonna have to go back to the patriarchy where the children belong to the man. Okay, because most women will not leave their children. Most women will not leave their children. They might leave for money, without money, but they're not going to leave without their kids. That is the reason in a marriage, especially a marriage. That's why the children belong to the man because that de-incentivizes the woman for actually leaving the marriage. I would say those two things you probably could re-incentivize marriage, at least for the man's part, and then you de-incentivize women's um, reason for leaving, and do those two things. That's what I would do. But that is a hard ask in a modern liberal society. Okay, that is a very hard ask. Anyhow, yeah, yeah, currently resist. Yeah, yeah, it is, and that means it took two extreme things for this to happen. But like I said, Bitcoin is very volatile. It's really it's a trading vehicle. I don't think Bitcoin is to me it's not an investment. It's a trading vehicle. So in other words, you trade it instead of invest in it. If you traded Bitcoin, you'd be a lot further along rather than trying to just buy and hold. I don't think Bitcoin, in my estimation, is not a buy and hold. Not the way I trade. So that's just me. So let's go into our history, and we're going to go ahead and get started. A lot of this stuff has been coming into me lately, um, and recently since a woman died in Gambia. I think it's the sixth. I think when I first heard it was like the fourth or fifth, and now they added a sixth one. Okay, that in the Gambia they have been died under some kind of mysterious conditions, whether they've been poisoned, they haven't been killed outright, but they died of ailments, they've been poisoned, whatever the issue is. We have about six women in Gambia that have died, right? And so that has started the discussion about Black African American women going to the continent or even going overseas. Okay, what to expect and their delusions and all kind of stuff. So, and most of the time, Black women say they're most comfortable in the diaspora in Africa. That's where they would actually go and find their husbands and whatnot. And they give this fantasy about African men being better than Black men, and I don't think they're any better or worse. They're just different, right? Same thing with women. I don't think women are any better or worse. I think they're just different depending on what you want, right? So we're going to start with this young lady out of Uganda, and she's going to be talking about African American women and the dating expectations, right? And what the reality is versus what the myths are. We'll start with that one, and then we have another one right after, which is an American woman who's married, who went to Africa and got married, and is echoing something very similar, but from a different perspective. There's a lot of this stuff going on, and let's play. We'll see how she does. We'll play it at 1.25, but thing is, she has an accent, and if you can't understand her, we'll slow it down. Okay, if that's fair. So anyhow, let's get started. Say, say Black American women following white women as normal led them to Gambia. It's your European white woman's version of going to Jamaica. Yeah, you know what? We'll talk about that if we get time. Sergio Uru, Dinah Samir was mentioning the same thing. Actually, I was playing bits of it, right? And he was saying there's a huge difference between how white women and white European women act when they go to Gambia versus Black women. Okay, sisters are on some different shit. Okay, but let's get started because we don't want to take too long. Unmute her.
It's mostly coming from one of the two. It's either money or pride. This is why for passport bros, it's easy for them to come to Africa and get a girl like me because they know society has groomed us. Like the way that lady said DIY house, like society in Africa has already groomed women to be below a man.
In other words, in other words, this is what black women call submission. Okay, it's submission. It's in other words, they're oriented differently how they do marriage and marital relationships. And she's getting ready to spit some knowledge. Okay.
Majority of people, when they come to Africa, the first thing they want us to see is their Americanness. You are not going to be in a relationship with an African man, and the first thing you want him to realize about you is your Americanness.
In other words, you don't give a shit about your money. Okay.
It's not going to work. I tell you the truth. African American women that want to come to Africa and get your African prince. Let me put you up on some games, sister. There is no African man who wants a woman to be superior than him.
And bing, bam. Say it again, black girl.
Let me say it for the people in the back because I feel
like you ain't me, girl. You ain't me, but I feel you for the people in the back. Okay.
I need to emphasize on this one. And a lot of women are in my comment section saying, Esther, you are literally trying to de-empower us as African American women. You're trying to put us down. Sis, that's the last thing I would want to do. I am not here on social media, on YouTube, to lie to you. Oh, come to Africa. It's the paradise that literally nobody told you about. Like everything is flowing like milk and honey in a river. No, I will say it straight as it is as an African woman. Raised by African society, raised around African men. Let me tell you, darling, from a very young age, over at least 12 years old, a young girl in Africa, at least I would say in Uganda, even if you are in boarding school and you're not around your parents, school will groom you to be a good woman to a man. When you are at the age of 12, there's something in Uganda.
They groom you. See what I say? Groom you to be what? A wife? Okay? A wife. A man does not have to groom, is not supposed to groom his woman to be a wife. She should come already groomed and trained to be a wife. I learned that from the Latinas, okay? I learned that from the Latinas. I learned that from my mother. My mother explained to me how my grandmother taught her how to be a wife. My mother, when she first got married, she already knew how to be a wife. My father didn't have to train her, okay? Keep saying that like I said, for the people in the back, okay?
That we call pulling. Go make some research about it. At the age of 12, you know how to satisfy a man sexually.
In other words, and I've been saying this, right, about African American males, right? Black American males in the United States. We are trained the exact opposite, right? In the reverse order of how everybody else works. We are trained that we have to somehow figure out how to give pleasure to the woman, how to service the woman sexually. And that's where we hang our manhood on, how to serve her, right? Don't work that way over there, okay? Don't work that way over there.
I learned these things when I was in primary 7 as an African girl. I am groomed as an African girl from a very young age, how to be a good woman to a man. This is why I will say it as it is. This is why majority of the times African girls, we can be behind compared to African American ladies. Why? Because our entirety of our being as ladies, majority of the times, you are groomed not to pursue your dreams, not to be somebody in society, but to be a good woman to a man who is
going. In other words, that is the first goal of most traditional societies, right? Okay, for women. Okay, a man is taught to pursue his goals, go out and slay the dragons, all that stuff, right? A woman is taught how to do what? To be a help. What is a help meet for a man? Okay. No place else in the world except in the West where a woman is taught the opposite, right? Especially who? Black women.
Going to marry. And I will say it again, sisters. No African man is going to allow you to be above him. Even if he has less money than you. Honey, let me tell you, you might be the most beautiful girl in the world, extremely educated. Baby, you got the money. You can entice him with anything that you want. The moment you take yourself to be above an African man, sis.
In other words, your money, what did Kevin say? Your money, your education don't matter to a man, right? Okay? And these are guys that are below, below Black American women in station and also in income. Okay, but even when we get there, there's a what is it? There's a what does he call it? A deal breaker, right? You still ain't running shit. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much education you got. You ain't running shit here. Okay? What's she trying to say?
You're out. You are out. They do not want that. Okay, I believe, not Kunda Esther, I believe in the patriarchy. I believe a woman should be under a man. And that is me as an African girl, guys. Don't come for me, but this is me as an African girl telling what I believe is right. Not even according to what I've been taught by society, but me, Natkunda Esther, as a Christian girl, I believe in, if it's going to be a relationship, it's going to be the head of the house, who is a man, and then me, Natkunda Esther, who is going to submit to him.
What is it? Said, what is it? God over man, man over a woman, woman over children, right? It's in the Bible. It's called covering. God covers the man covers the wife covers the children.
Okay, now, from the comment section, women have been saying, do not generalize. Do not generalize. Honey, let me tell you, I will not come here and generalize. I am here to tell you facts. Me, Natkunda Esther, in my very own country, Uganda, the pool of men I would want to be with, it's extremely tiny. And every lady who has made herself to be something good in society, she is looking at that tiny dating pool. Because the 80%, they are dusters. I would just say it.
80% of the African American men are dusties, right? So that 80-20 rule, that's what African American women call us, right? The 80% of dusties, right? Dusties unite, okay? Globally, dusties unite. All our dusty African brothers unite with us.
I would just say it. Now, me Natkunda Esther, I don't even make $600. Guys, I don't even make $600 a month in my own country. And you are an American lady. You come from America. Even if you're used to earning $2,000, because I would say the bare minimum for you guys, let me say it's $2,000. You are still better than me financially, and that is the truth. And when I tell you you are better than me, Natkunda Esther, as a girl financially, I mean you are better than almost 50% of the men in my country when it comes to earning financially.
More than that, more like 80%.
But still, if you want to move from America and come to Africa, however much this man is going to be earning less than you, he is going to be on top of you. And you just have to accept it. And that is just reality. Because in Africa,
I ain't going to be under no man. Ain't no man going to be over me.
You as a lady, your money means nothing to a man. No, leave alone this nonsense that you hear. What do you bring on the table? What do you bring on the table? Your money means nothing to a man in Africa when it comes to respect. Respect comes first. And majority of...
What did Kevin say? Respect comes first, right? What did Sycax, the white boy, okay? The white boy, what did he say? Respect comes first to a man, right?
The women, they think, when I have my money out, I can treat this man any way I want. It's not going to work for you if you come to Africa. I'm going to be honest with you. If any man is going to accept that behavior of, I'm the girl, I got money, I'm American, I can treat you anyhow I want, I can say whatever I want, I can raise my voice above you. Hey, if that man stays, I tell you 100%, he is robbing you. He is just like, let me stay strong just to suck the life out of this girl.
In other words, he's a homosexual and he getting ready to go for the bag, all right?
And that's the reality. Yes, as a lot of African men make money. I will be honest with you. Yes, they do make money. But still, the reality is a typical African man cannot earn equivalent to what the bare minimum an American can make. That's the reality. Be it a woman, be it a man. Okay? So let's not even fight about that, because that's the reality. If you give me Natkunda Esther today, Natkunda Esther, if I wake up and I have a job that pays me at that 1,000.
Yeah, she's average for an African, okay? Got to remember her features are not African American. She's from Uganda, so she's about mid-level for an African woman. She's about a $5
a month. Honey, I will live in luxury. Okay, no, like extremely like extravagant apartment or that. No, it's good money. It's good what? Money. Now imagine 2,000 2,000 US dollars is 6 million Ugandan shillings. I tell you, even managers of certain big companies don't make that money. And that's just the truth. So ladies, let me put you on this game. Just because of where you come from, the society, it's a fast-paced world, and you make this money, even if for you it'll be that, even if you feel like in America this is the bare minimum I make in America, you are still better than an African man, leave alone a woman. And let me tell you, as African women, we know our place, because here in Africa, even if a woman makes more money than a man, you will never know. You will never know.
Ooh. Say it again, black girl.
Because she will be like the typical African girl that was raised to be an African girl. That's just facts. Okay? It's very rare for you to find a relationship where you can tell that the lady has more money than the man. Because always they will submit below the man. Okay? Now, you as an American lady.
And there go that word, submit, right? To submit. And she's been talking about submit the whole time. Okay? The only time women buck against submission is who?
You come into Africa. The reason I said chances are you are a target to be used is because it's just fact. When we look at you, we see money. And I'll be honest with you, in Africa, just from the way you sound.
And said, Dr. T in the house, appreciate you, bro, for dropping in. I knew you show up. Wait, hold on. I got one for you, Doc. Okay. I got one for you.
I knew you come back.
I trust you didn't lose sleep over it.
Worrying about you be like wondering if the sun gonna come up. Ain't about to wild out over it.
That's for Dr. T, okay? Anyway, continuing.
People increase the prices. People charge you differently. We look at you differently by just the way you speak. And I understand you are black like me. Maybe you are just a little bit lighter than me as an African American. But the truth is, the moment you open your mouth and we hear that accent, immediately people see you different. They see money. This is why I say chances are you are going to be used if you are not clever. And people are saying in the comment section, that's it. That's all I need. That says, I'm not coming to Africa. Honey, you must come to Africa. Yes, I must tell you, you must come to Africa. You guys, I am not going to come here and
this one's for Theo, okay? I'll give this one to Theo, right?
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
To Theo, okay.
lie to you that it's all beds of roses. All I'm trying to say, from a girl who has traveled to 7 different countries and I can speak like 6 languages. Yes, if traveling is a must, and to adjust your brain, you must travel. However, you just have to be street smart. Even if you tell me right now, in America they are doing this. Oh, in America they are doing. Oh, in America, in Chicago it's like this. Hey,
She got the neck down, don't she?
Los Angeles, the gas prices are up. Oh, in New York City, in Harlem, it's not safe. Honey, me, myself, and I will still travel and visit America. All I have to be is what? Clever and smart and vigilant. On God, period. So let me put you up on some game. For some of you that are seriously interested in coming to Africa and being with African partners, I would just say humbly, this is why I said in the beginning, sweetheart, just keep your money. In Africa, when a woman has money and she does not want her man to know about it, we do this. Get the money.
And the old pin money. Remember I told you about the pin money, how that's been passed down? It didn't start in here in the United States. It started where? Okay? About hiding money. Okay? Hide money. Let's see how far back this goes. It's not an American thing, right? It's a black thing. We brought that with us. Putting you up on game.
Put in the bra. Keep quiet. You have nothing. Oh, baby, the gas, what? Hey, baby, we don't have salt in the house. And then you also cry, hey, my husband, it's okay. We will sleep hungry. We will sleep hungry, my love, until you get money to provide for us. That's the mentality you need to come with when you come into Africa. Okay? Sis, I understand you can do things for yourself, but just keep your money in the... You are not here to provide, because the moment you show an African man that you can be able to bring some money, they will milk you to death. Like, literally. You know how people drink boba tea? Yeah, they will milk you like that.
She's putting you on game. So in other words, you got to understand, this is how their mentality works, right? You're there to provide. She's there to submit. Okay? And it also works this way in the Muslim world, the same thing, right? She's there to provide. You're there to provide. She's there to submit. So you got to put yourself on game. You can't give up too much. So she's telling you the truth, right? How All women are not the same. Okay, their culture determines who they are. Their culture determines who they are. Go back with your old grandma, your great grandma, and before, right? They did the same shit. Okay, they never talked about their money. They tucked their money away. They didn't show you all their money. Okay, you're there to provide. Like, what does it say? What is it old saying, right? Your money is our money, and my money is my money. That's what she's saying, right? It didn't just start here.
Any woman must have some money. That's just common sense, ladies. You must have some money. But your money is your money. You must never show a man that you have money. I am just telling you that the biggest problem African American women are facing in Africa, it's mostly coming from one of the two. It's either money or pride. It's the pride. Number two is the pride. The pride. The pride, my love. If you know you are interested in an African man, you must leave pride where you are. I don't want to generalize.
Leave pride where you are, right? And what's the two biggest things that are bad with the African American women, right? Okay, the need to be right. That's pride and ego. Okay.
But I feel like American women are empowered. The empowerment of what a man can do, I can do so. The empowerment of you talk shit to me, I'm going to talk to you back. You come with a certain empowerment. If you are not willing to diverse yourself into this person's culture and know as a woman, however educated I am, however moneyed I am going to stay below this person, knowingly very well that in America, you earn more than what this person is making. That's the reality. Honey, you're going to have to lower yourself down. That's just African culture. Guys, that's just African culture. First of all, the mind of a lady, an African lady, she was already groomed to know a man is going to provide for her, so she needs to be below. So sometimes even her dreams die there. So she doesn't even see the need to be persuasive when it comes to her goals, her dreams, because her entirety as a woman, she's going to be below a what? A man. Now, I'm not generalizing. It can happen that your man can be understanding, and I pray to God I get a man like that who is going to be understanding, because me, not Kuna Esther, I am extremely ambitious. And there is nothing that is going to stop me from pursuing my dreams, not even a man. And I know I'm a very big lover. I love love, but God, a man who is going to stop me from being ambitious? No. So some men are there that are supportive in Africa. But all I'm saying is a man can be supportive, but never come with a mindset to Africa that me, I'm the girl, I'm educated, I got a degree, and I have money, and I make more money. Oh, you cannot do this for me. I can do better for myself.
I can do all by myself. You can't come with that attitude. Can't come with that attitude. So anyway, we're gonna give like a couple more minutes of this, and then we're gonna switch over to the next one, okay, which is American Woman.
It's not gonna work. It's not going to work. If you see that man staying, and there is some certain level of attitude showing him that you are better than him,
Yeah,
and he stays with you, he is planning something.
yeah, that's what happened in Gambia. The sisters came over with that kind of attitude. He was planning something. So we're gonna break off of this one. Like I said, go give the sister a like. And she's got a couple more that are interesting if you guys want to delve into it. This was sent to me by 3 or 4 people, right? And then this other one was sent to me by Dr. Johnson, okay, which is kind of like a response to it, kind of like a response to this young lady's thing. And this is coming from the American side, so let's go ahead and pot this one up. And this is the same, almost the same thing, except it is coming from a African American female's perspective. So this is Mama Mariah, okay. And as always, if we use anybody's material, please, at the bare minimum, go give her a like. She got 49 likes on this one. So if so if you want to do her a solid, since we're using her material, okay, please give her a like, okay. Do it for me, okay. Uh, for the BGS tax, right? Minimum, give her a like, okay. Theater mode, mini player. Oh,
So finding their black top.
let's go ahead and full screen. Okay, I'm trying to go. I guess it is full screen. I guess it's as full as it's gonna get. All right, let's try theater mode. Okay. All right.
dark African.
When it comes to earning financially. But still, if you want to move from America and come to Africa, however much this man is going to be earning less than you, he is going to be on top of you. And you just have to accept it. And that is just reality. Because in Africa, you as a lady, your money means nothing to a man. No, leave alone this nonsense that you hear. What do you bring on the table? What do you bring on the table? Your money means nothing to a man in Africa when it comes to respect. Respect comes first. And majority of the women, they think, when I have my money out, I can treat this man any way I want. It's not going to work for you if you come to Africa. I'm going to be honest with you. If any man is going to accept that behavior of, I'm the girl, I got money, I'm American, I can treat you anyhow I want, I can say whatever I want, I can raise my voice.
Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time here today, welcome. Karibu sana. My name.
Very little appreciate you for the collection. Okay. We just give Keisha that work tax. You ain't shit. Continuing.
It is Candace, and I want to talk about today a conversation of African American women visiting Africa. And so there's a YouTuber, her name is Esther, and she is giving African American women the tea and amazing insight, considering that she is an African woman. So I want African American women to consider two things when making the decision to be in a relationship with, to marry, to anything concerning an African man. Anything. These are things that you must take into consideration. Coming from an African American woman who has a child with an African man, who is married to an African man, and who has lived in the continent of Africa for 3 years. Let me tell you what's up. Number one, you need to keep this in your mind. African women will always have the one up on us in the area of submission, maintaining a marriage, and taking care of their man.
Oh, say it again, black girl. So they're in agreement.
Number one, baby, you will never be able to compete with that.
Oh, say it again, black girl.
Okay, now that you understand that fact, you need to consider this. All of that African women have up on us and all that they're able to do that we are not able to do, consider this. The submission of African women and all of that, the submission of African women has not pushed the nation forward in substantial ways. Africa is still seen as a place of poverty. Africa is still being exploited by the West and Europe and Britain.
So how has you being independent helped the black community in the United States push itself forward? But that's beside the point, huh?
Now every other place. So the family structure is there, but that has done nothing for the continent as a whole. Number one, consider that. So is it really all of that? Number two, you need to consider this. When you are considering being with an African man, and some women just not gonna listen, but when you're considering and you're trying to maintain a relationship with an African man and you are coming from the West, you need to make sure.
Well, you can't do nuances when for a general audience. Okay, everybody wants to get into nuances. Okay, every person, every place in all the world is not exactly the same. There's always nuances, but this is general audience. Okay, is she 80 or 85% correct? Even I will say, dare say 90% correct.
Sure that he is educated and he needs absolutely nothing from you financially. And most of the men that sit in that category that are African are already married.
Boom, boom. Say it again, black girl.
If an African,
boom. Say it again, black girl. Already. O'Shea, Dinus, this other chick said the exact same thing, right? But black women don't want to believe it, right? But we're the Dusties.
Man is interested in you, and you can see no fruit of success. He's needy, girl. He's going to exploit you to the best of his ability. And then because you're not going to be able to humble and respect him because you come from the West, and that is very difficult to do. Take it from somebody that knows. Take it from what Esther is saying. We're not lying to you. It's difficult to submit to a man who you don't need.
Oh, that's an African American thing, right? And they've been telling us that for what, centuries? Didn't just start yesterday. But we the problem, huh?
he's going to exploit you and discard. And I know that this is hard, and I know I'm talking hard, and I know that it's a hard thing to digest when you really, really want something. But sis, I'm not saying that all African men are bad, because I could say, like, my husband was fairly good to me until the end.
To the end.
We're still married, we're separated.
Uh,
I'm not saying that all African men are bad. I'm not saying that if you can figure out the mechanism in the system, then you can really have a good African man. And African men are predominantly stronger emotionally. They are predominantly a better mate for an American woman, a Black American woman. So I don't want to discourage you as a whole, but I want you to come into this thing with your eyes wide open, because y'all in the West be romanticizing Africa, baby, and it's not giving. So the third thing I want you to consider is
now if they could change themselves in America and be this kind of wife in America, would not an African American man be a better mate for her? Now for an African man, he'd be a better mate for the African American woman in the West. Okay, if she can figure out how to change herself and accept him, really. Okay. Now all the qualifiers for somebody else, but not for your own men. In other words, you can't be that woman, the kind of woman that an African man wants in America, right? Can you? Now that's the problem. The problem is not the man, baby. The problem is you.
most African men are they're only going to use a condom if they know you to be a known prostitute. Now, the statistics and the HIV rate and all of that in Africa lets you know that this is true. Okay. We're not talking about one man or two men. We're giving majority statistics. They're not going to use a condom. And African women most of them are not going to force that. Now, considering everything that I said, including your health, African men are going to cheat. They're not going to use a condom.
In other words, they're going to exercise their options, right? But you had a problem when Kevin Samuels said it to you. For a high value man that makes way more money than you do, and you had a problem with that.
And so you got to kind of sit back and say, wait a minute, is it really worth it? Okay, you have to understand that African women have taught African men what to accept, how to be, how to treat a woman, what they can get away with, and they can predominantly get away with anything.
They're the man, right? Well, to get away with anything in the eyes of an African American woman, because what they tolerate out of us is not a tenth of what an African man in Africa can actually get away with. Okay, that's what she's saying.
So they're not going to put up with a woman's from the West shenanigans.
Say it again, black girl.
If you're not able to humble yourself on the level of an African woman, baby, which majority cannot, coming from the West.
Boom. Say it again, black girl.
You're going to suffer.
Say it again, black girl.
You're putting your health at risk.
Yes.
You're putting your financial future at risk, and you're putting your mental health at risk. You need to make sure you know what you're doing when you come over here and you're looking from America at African men. You need to make sure that you understand that what we consider to be normal,
yes,
is not.
Boom. Say it again, black girl. What you consider to be normal is not. Boom.
What we consider to be morally correct is not in Africa.
Boom. Say it again, black girl.
Okay. Things that we consider to be repulsive is normal in Africa. They don't run by the same moral code.
But I thought all morals are the same instead of subjective. I keep hearing this. Well, morals are just same thing all over the world, and that's subjective, and blah, blah, blah. I just heard that shit last night. Yeah, so you put some spec on my like button.
Okay. Men can predominantly do whatever they want to do. They are the head, baby, and you are not even the tail, girl. You under his feet, under the cement, under the grass, where hell almost at. That is literally where a lot of they women stand mentally. But financially and physically, African men are predominantly good to their women. It's just a mindset. It's a belief system. It's a culture. Okay. So able to get under the cement, under the rug, under the grass, under the dirt, and humble yourself to him, don't be in a relationship with him. It doesn't matter if he's poor. Girl, you will never control him. You will never.
What did the other girl, African woman, told you the exact same thing? Did she not? Did she not? Told you exactly the exact same thing. You'll never be able to control him because it's not part of the culture.
Never. In some tribes, African men can marry more than one wife. You need to make sure that you understand the tribe and the culture that the man that you romanticizing or that you're thinking about, you think you want. You need to make sure you understand everything. And that takes time, years. So what I would say to you is put everything on the table, consider everything that you have more to lose than he does, especially if he needs you financially.
And in America, it's the exact opposite because America is a gynocracy, right? Candace Owens just said. I was just listening to her and Ben Shapiro. Right, I might review that one later on tonight because that is so I want to actually go over something about that Shapiro group, okay? Especially when it comes to the little white girl. But she just said the same thing. The laws and the way things run, who has the power in the United States are not the men. It's actually it's actually the women. That's why I call it a matriarchy, or what I call a gynocracy, ruled by women. So in other words, you come here, it's called a patriarchy, sir. Yo, Adrian, if a coup is a Tuesday to them, the gynocracy can't check them if King Charles Macron and Eric Prince can't check them. Exactly. Not gonna happen.
Financially. If he needs anything from you, anything financially, girl, no. Anything. Women in Africa predominantly don't help a man financially.
A taco stand. Tax. Truth and Facts Thursday. I heard that. But BGS, aren't black women were the paragon of all things virtuous and righteous? Their only fault being that they're shackled to us dusty degenerates. How dare these African men not bend the knee and kiss? You know what, KMS? I can't take y'all nowhere, man. Y'all embarrassing me in public. I can't take y'all nowhere. But you're right, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying is, when passport bros reached escape velocity, man, and the men start bringing back field reports, okay? Field reports about how women are actually different in the rest of the world, right? Even in Europe, how women are actually different in the rest of the world, right? Women didn't believe it. Now, the sisters came behind us and did FAFO, right? Fucked around and found out, okay? That their gynocracy doesn't transfer to other cultures. Okay, they're waiting for the gynocracy to come in and save them and get these men told and put these men in check. Boo, it don't work over there, right?
Ever. So if you have to help him financially, girl, you done took yourself out of the wife's position. You put yourself in a sponsorship role. And he's going to see you as such. You a sponsor, you're not a wife. Because African women do not help their men financially.
She just said that, okay? In other words, if you want to help meet, if you want a financial help meet and you want that 50-50 relationship, you can't do it over there, right? Because it's not in their culture. It's in this culture, okay? With all the other stuff that you had to put up with, okay? You have to pick your poison.
Predominantly, they don't. Unless it's an absolute, somebody sick, somebody finna die, it's for the children. It got to be a show enough emergency situation. Don't do it. Now, considering all the things that I just put on the table, so consider ye this. And I'm just saying this because it is true. What Esther is saying, it is true. Let me give you this and I'm out. If you are boisterous, cantankerous, rebellious, argumentative, and haughty, you're not gonna make it with an African man.
What you mean, girl?
It doesn't matter the age.
What you
mean, girl? It doesn't matter the economical status.
What you mean,
if
girl?
Those are your characteristics as an American woman, black or white. You're not gonna make it with an African man.
And how many black women are not like that? Riddle me that.
And when he finds out that you're disrespectful,
Ooh,
he's going to exploit you and then discard you.
ooh, oh, oh, oh.
That's the tea. It's hot. It gave what it was supposed to give. Make your own decisions. Proceed forward with caution or stop altogether. And if you think it's something like, oh, we just playing, it's not that serious, look up the stories of African men who went to America, bought his wife from Africa to America. She got to America and got brand new independent.
Ooh. And what happened?
And see what happened to her.
Oh, what happened, girl?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Oh.
To all the women that happened to.
Ooh.
If you think what I'm saying is blase squaze,
Mm-hmm.
look online for the stories. You will never dominate and rule an African man. And what's the method? How can you win at this? African man's heart. Some are going to be up for the task and some are not going to have the mental fortitude for it. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. Most men cannot function under an independent woman.
Ooh. Say it again, black girl. We've been trying. That's why your marriage rate is only 27%. Say it again, black girl.
Most men cannot function with a woman who does not need him. Most men cannot function with a woman who is more educated than him. Most men can't do that.
That's not true. You know, it's the attitude. Has nothing to do with the education. It's the attitude.
The majority of the men that I know can do that is Caucasian European men.
That's bullshit. Because Caucasian white men will not put up with that sister girl shit. Okay, they will not. They will discard you. Okay, they will discard you.
Most black people don't know how to function with a woman that is above him.
That's bull. We do that. That's bullshit. Black men function with women above them all the time. Okay, we learned it from my mamas. That's bullshit. Now she's getting into bullshit. In other words, no matter where you go, all the men are the same. That's bullshit. Black men are taught to serve their women. They're taught that. In fact, black women expect that. Okay, it's bullshit.
It doesn't mean like, oh, you're a loser because you can't. It just means that, baby, black women. And I will tell you this today. It takes patience, emotional maturity, perseverance, humility, and a strong heart. You have to literally be almost blind to the thing that an African man does for your own sanity, girl, and for the sake of the family. African women are predominantly blind to the things that they do.
They're not blind. They're trained to accept it. Okay, that's that sister girl shit. They're not blind, and that's why y'all get in trouble because they're trained to accept certain things. They're trained to accept the man's options. That's their society, and you think that they're fools and they're blind and they're ignorant and they're stupid. No, they're not. They're trained differently. Okay.
So those are some of the things that you need to consider. I might come back. I'm going to come back with a video on the do's and the don'ts.
All right. Maybe when she comes back with the video, we'll entertain that. But actually, yeah, this is sent to me by Dr. T. And when you match it with the two, it basically I've heard, I've heard this before, okay, because I've been over there and I've seen the difference in between the women there. Don't say that doesn't mean the African women are not aggressive. They are, but thing is, their culture tamps that down. Their culture tamps that down. It doesn't tamp that shit down over here with black women. It don't tamp it down. It actually exploits it and lets it run wild, which is why you have the marriage rate that you have in the United States. But anyway, let me read Dr. T's. They refuse to accept that the gynocracy is funded by white society. Ergo, anywhere else they go where such a thing is not funded does not exist. Exactly. Inspired Truth says, cook on the dust is the spice. The spice must flow. And Theo says she won't make it make it with my dog. Invictus with the peace in the 999. Appreciate you. See what else we got. Mr. Dacus, the navigator. So sprinkle doesn't work in Mama Africa. No, it does not. It does not work in Mama Africa. Love the intellect room of the manosphere. Appreciate you. KMS. So according to her testimony, a man in Africa with his shit together is already tripled up on women, and she is broke. If he's broke, he's about to run them pockets. So black women are leaving America to actually to actual problems they lament about. In other words, yeah, you know, you know, the rainbow is not the rainbow. Okay, the rain, that pie in the sky does not exist on the continent, right? And what they're finding out, the problem is not the men. Okay, the problem is you. Okay, in other words, men already know that we're buyers. Okay, we're buyers for 10 cents on the dollar, which we're cool with. That's why it works for men and not for women. Is because what we want, they're already trained to give. Okay. What the women want, the African men are not trained to give. Okay. No matter what they say. So guess what? You know, guess what? It's a read out there. Guess what? For African American women, I got one thing to say, right? You already know what it is.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
That's what she's trying to say. You ain't got nowhere else to go, right? But the thing is, that woman did everything except praise their men. Okay, they do everything else except praise the men that they already have. Because all the stuff that she wants, all the stuff that she demands, all the stuff that she's asking for is already there in her man because you trained him to be that way. So if you want a man that's going to accept all that shit, stick with the man that's already trained to give it to you. But they won't do that because guess what? You're dusty to them. They don't even want to be with you. So the thing is that low boiling contempt and hatred, they can't get over that shit. They'd rather go to another continent, put up with 10 times as much as the shit that a black man in America will put her through, right? They want to put up with 10 times that shit to prove a point, right? A white boy is not gonna take that shit either. And they've said so. And a Latino definitely is not gonna take this shit that the African American woman put up with, put you through. They're not gonna take that shit. But they will willing to do anything else except what? Change. But they take their black ass over to Africa. Guess what they're gonna have to do? They're gonna have to change. And guess what? O'Shea said. Guess what Dinah said. Guess what Phil said. Right? Do not come over to the continent or any place else outside the United States without your man. So when an African woman or African American woman comes to a new place like Thailand, Latin America, or even the continent, guess what they're looking for? They're not looking for the man there. They're looking for you. They're following you because they want to marry you and be with you over there. They already know what side of the bread is buttered. They already know. Nope, straight jabs. That's the thing. Let me see if I can find this, man, because as an aside for the last one, see if it's in my history. I'm sure it is, and because I played this because Dynas Amir said the exact same thing, man. He was saying the exact same thing. He actually talked about um, the difference between an African American a woman and white women. Okay, see if I can find it because um here it is. Okay, see if I can find the spot. See if I can find the spot. Go back to the default and go back a bit. And then I have to check on my grandson and make sure that he's straight because we're trying to get his grades up. So he's going through that. He's going through that preteen phase, that the teenager phase where he got his own will. So, all right, I played this on Arts Panel, right? It's just a little foregrounding, right? Okay, 6 women in Gambia have gotten, have died. Okay, a little bit older women. Some have been proven that they were poisoned. Most is under mysterious circumstances, right? And And these guys are advocates for travel and repatriation on the continent, right? So it's bothering them that this is happening to women because if you're in a pro-black sector, the majority of your money is going to come from females. It is what it is, right? And they don't want to see their clientele get into bad situations. And they've been trying to not say it for the past few years. But the thing is, guess what? Now it's come to the fore where they have to say something, right? So we'll play a little bit of this. Yeah, he has started algebra. It's pre-algebra. We were working on the area and circumference of the circumference or the perimeter of a circle of shapes. So we're working on that now, and he has to learn basic substitution. So they just started what I call pre-algebra, and I was just talking to his teacher, his math teacher, maybe last week about getting him on board and getting his grades up as far as math is concerned, because it's sometimes it's not the easiest thing, even though I'm sitting with him and I'm showing him, working through the problems with him. So it's not always the easiest thing to grasp. But anyhow, continuing.
Yeah, the white women, they go single, they'll have fun with the local men. But I haven't seen it.
Let me get back a little bit.
On a level that a lot of our sisters are. They get more on code. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Quincy. All my years going to Africa, I have not seen a white woman pull up on the locals doing this shit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. All my years going to Africa, I have not seen a white woman. Let's just have this honest conversation, all right? I have not seen a white woman expose the locals. Am I right or wrong? They mind their own business. I'm just saying, they're not coming with that feminist spirit. Am I right or wrong? I've been going since 2011. I have not seen a white woman snap and then grab the camera and I'll expose you. I gotta show you. I haven't seen it. Yeah, the white women, they go single, they'll have fun with the local men. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the white women come to Africa and roll their eyes and roll their neck.
Say it again, black man. Say it again, black man.
Am I right or wrong? I know I'm gonna make a lot of people upset. I haven't seen it. I mean, you roll your eyes, you roll your neck, you pull out your camera, you pull out your phone, you gotta expose the Gambians. And I'm telling you, you're only gonna get so far before you piss off the wrong Gambian, before you piss off the wrong African.
Say it again, black man. They're making the brother's beard gray, man, by putting up with this shit.
I mean, am I right or wrong? Thank you. The single white women, they go to Gambia, they mind their business. Like I said before, everything ain't got to be an expose. Everything got to be, I got to call them out. Everything got to be, I got to expose you.
Another way, I got to get you told. I got to get the African man told.
Them white women, they go to Africa, they chill. They get their little rent-a-roster. And they chill out. That's what they do. They ain't calling, and listen, it ain't perfect. Africa's not perfect, but they're not calling out every little thing and putting it on camera and then uploading it to YouTube. When I see white women over there, they're not embarrassing everybody. Like, damn. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it has happened.
They ain't coming over with that gynocratic attitude where they have to put you down and put you in your place.
Thank you. It's called situational awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
It's equivalent to you invite me to your house.
Oh, here we go.
And you say, Dinus, you got to take off your shoes before you enter.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I ain't got to take off my shoes. I'm going to leave my shoes on. That's not how I do it at my house. This is how we do it at my house. We keep our shoes on.
Exactly. That's what they come up with that attitude, right?
And sit there and argue with you about it. And this is what's going on. We're going to these people's country. Hold on, my bad. Hold on 1 second. I can call that person back. We go to these people's country and we expect them to conform to us.
The women do, yeah.
And at the very minimum, if we expect them to conform to us, at least have something in exchange to give them a value. And I'm not saying it has to be necessarily money, but it needs to be a win-win. Here we go. It needs to be a win-win. It has not been a win-win. And I'm telling you, you go over there, you continue to embarrass these people, put them on blast, put them on camera. You want to turn to Jerry Springer? Gambia is a underdeveloped. I'm gonna be very careful. Gambia is a developing Islamic country where men. I think Gambia is Islamic. I think so because Senegal is. Gambia and Senegal is pretty much the same. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Kwesi, correct me if I'm wrong. Gambia is an Islamic country where men can have multiple wives.
Yep.
All right. You see how the women act in the majority of these African countries. Like I go to African countries, the women are bowing to the men.
Yep.
They're not rolling their eyes. They're not rolling their neck.
It's called culture.
They're not doing none of that shit.
In other words, Gynocracy does not play well over on the continent. Okay, it does not play well over on the continent. And this is something I've talked about this before. I did this on my other channel, but with a sister that went over to Ghana and tried to pull the Gynocracy shit over there. She got into a bunch of fights with a bunch of people. And fortunately, Ghana is a very, very, very peaceful place. Ghanaians have the softest hearts of any Africans I've ever met. The most kindest, gentlest people I've ever met, right? Don't try that shit in Gambia. Don't try that shit in Kenya. Okay? Don't try that shit in South Africa. You can get the fuck slapped out of you, okay? It is what it is. If you can't go to Ghana and chill and get along with the people, or get along with the men there, you can't do it any place on the continent. Doesn't happen. And our women, everywhere they go, okay? Everywhere they go. Fortunately, they're afraid to do that in the Asian countries, right? For whatever reason, they don't start that shit in Asian countries. They do not. I have not heard of a sister start any kind of shit in the Asian country, right? Whatever. Maybe that's the best place for them. Go over to Asia because you're going to actually get some act right. You're going to actually be humbled, okay? Where you're kind of afraid of them. I think they're afraid of the Asians. I really do. Your respect is always paramount. See, Jesse's over there now, okay? How you get into fights in Ghana? Exactly, man. Well, you saw the video, man. She got into about 2 or 3 fights with men in Ghana. Okay, and said, how can you get into fights in Ghana? Black women, if there's a fight to be had, she's gonna figure out how to do it. Anyhow, there were a few that got arrested in Bali or someplace close for bullying a shop owner. Yeah, but I'm saying they don't usually come over with that attitude most of the time. Yeah, I mean, but it's rare. It's rare. But they start shit all the. There's women in Gambia, black women in Gambia that's gotten kicked out because of that exposed shit, not minding their business. Anyhow, let me read a couple comments and then we're gonna be out of here, man. We're gonna let Dusty take us out in a minute. I got Brother Truth Be Told, appreciate you. Brandon, appreciate you for the Cash App. And anybody else? I think that is it. Jesse can tell you, man. Jesse can, yeah. Even the men in Ghana don't fight each other for real. They slap, box, and wrestle. In other words, Jesse can tell you of all the countries that I've been to, outside of maybe the Asian country, maybe Japan, Ghana is probably the most peaceful, kindest country in Africa, right? If you cannot be peaceful in Ghana, you can't be peaceful anywhere, man. They're very humble, salt of the earth people. They don't really get upset. They talk very kind to people. They're very agreeable people. If you can't get along with them, can't get along with nobody. That's like, but that's probably the reason where most of the women that actually go to the continent actually go to Ghana is because of that. Is because they're less likely to get in trouble. That's why I like Ghana. If nothing else, Ghana's probably one of the most safest countries on the planet. Okay, one of the most safest countries on the planet. You know, barring maybe Switzerland, maybe Japan, but Ghana's probably one of the most safest countries on the planet. That's why I always say, if you're going to go there, if you want to be safe on the continent, okay, Ghana's the place that you need to go. That's why it's probably one or two on my list, right? You know, if they had better infrastructure, Ghana would beat them out by a mile, but their infrastructure is lagging. But it is what it is. All right. Say gem for Asian countries have draconian laws. Look at Singapore. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's true. I think that's what keeps Keisha in check. Keisha looking for soft targets. I said, Typhoon the Ripper said, I had a girl from Gambia. She didn't like the idea of me visiting her country because she knew that I would be a hot rod to all of the women over there. Basically, okay, and this is something, right? Okay. Your blue passport alone, even without money, puts you in the top 5%, right? If you earn minimum of $30,000 a year, you're gonna be in the top 1% of of just about all African countries. The top 1% in all African countries, right? It is what it is, okay? In other words, anytime you step out with that blue passport, guess what? And I told you, right? They're gonna be gathering around. Guess what they're gonna say?
And you're like, oh my God, God is on earth.
That's what they're gonna say. Okay. That's why Passport Bros is a good strategy if you can use it. Everybody can't access it, but the thing is, don't listen to them dating coaches because they don't know what the fuck they are talking about. Okay. And what thing is, Keisha can't follow because Keisha cannot adapt, right? We just saw two women talk about Keisha. Okay. Keisha cannot adapt to the culture because she has been groomed and trained to what? She has been groomed to lead her family. Okay. Black women, you know, I hear guys start say, I was raised in a patriarchy, blah, blah, I don't give a shit. Black women in America have been groomed and trained to lead their family and not the opposite. That's like when they go someplace else, they cannot adapt. Okay. They're just saying that. So those SB dudes or anti-passport bros, yeah, because they're not traveling. Because trust and believe, if they had their blue passport and they were traveling, we'd doing the same shit you do. Okay, the same shit you do. So that bullshit about women are all the same. Them women, we had women from all over the world tell you that they're all the same. They're different. Okay, they're all different, and they're all created by their culture. What did the Ugandan woman say? Even though she's an so-called independent African woman, she said, I was groomed to actually be under a man. It is what it is. Shoot me. So anyhow, that's right. Trained to lead under man's authority. Not really. They get pissed off about the authority. What did Ebony K. Williams say? Okay, you can't handle me. Who's gonna check me, boo? Okay. You can't handle the way I show up. Fannie Willis, exact same thing. I am your equal. Okay. Really, ergo, I'm your superior. Is what it is. Okay. But Jaws says, I think that why some people like Mexico a lot. It's close, it's cheaper, and you can maximize that 2 weeks vacation. Well, Jaws, you know where I am, man. It's like Mexico was like an hour and a half drive. So as trust and believe, my son is that's where he used to play all the time, is in his semi-pro basketball games. He used to be in Mexico all the time, so that's where he probably where to get a taste of Latinas. But Mexico can be dangerous. That's the only problem with Mexico. It's hit or miss. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here. and I'm gonna let Dusty take us out. In other words.
Good evening. Your time now is 10:52. I'm Jeanette Reyes. We told you at 7:52. I don't want to hold you. We told you at 8:52. Don't let me keep you. This just into our newsroom. You are not obligated to go to your place of residence as your final destination, but it certainly cannot be here.
All right. Thank you, Bad Black Gamer. Appreciate you. I was brought out of control in Liberia on $2,000. Hey, man, use whatever it is to your advantage. Okay. I love it here. The best, I'm going to say this, okay? I've been saying this for a while. The best man for a black woman she already has, right? Okay. The one that she hates, the one she hates to be around, the one she calls Dusty, that is the best man for her in the condition that she's in. Period. Period. Right? Okay. All right, folks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably do an AMA and maybe an open stream for you guys. I haven't done one in a while, so I appreciate you guys. And normally, open streams are my gift to you guys, so you guys can get on and talk and fellowship and get your points across and get your questions answered and stuff like that. So till tomorrow, D Scott with the Dusty Tax. Yeah, D Scott been in the dust, man. He's a Dusty King, all right. But don't tell him why, okay.